Hello, I'm Miss Winterstein, and this is an introduction on how to hold and play your cello. The first thing that we need to do is we need to make sure our cello is the right size, okay? So I'm going to take out my end pin, and I'm going to move it in front of me just for right now so you can see it. I'm going to take my end pin, undo it, and I'm going to pull it out, and the way I'm going to check is about my hand distance, big hand. Do about that and maybe a little bit extra. I'm going to tighten it, okay? And this all can be done from this position over here, okay? We want to keep our cellos to the right of us because that's what's standard in orchestras. If we start putting them everywhere, people might trip over them when they're getting up. So we keep it on our right side, and the way we're going to pick it up is our right hand's going to grab right here under the rib, our left hand's going to grab the neck nice and sturdy, we're going to pick them up, and we're going to swing them in front of us. Now, in order to position the cello correctly on our body, I like to make a triangle with my feet and the end pin. So I kind of see they're about equidistant. They're about the same distance on each part of my triangle. Okay, so if I had it way out here, my triangle isn't a good size. Or up here, triangle isn't a good size. So you want it to be about equal. Okay. Then as we bring the cello into us, on my left side, this is where the neck is going to hang over. It doesn't touch your shoulder at all. So we don't want any of this, okay? If you have this, you need to adjust your positioning a bit. You might, pardon me, you might have to adjust your end pin and extend it out an inch or two as well. The way we prevent this is by using our sternum, which is right here. It's like that hard piece in the middle of your chest. That's going to be where this part touches. So it kind of rests there, okay? This part usually comes to like the bottom of a buttons on my polo. So if you're wearing a school polo, that's kind of a good estimation of where those should hit. It should hit right at the buttons, okay? And then the other two contact points are my knees. Your knees really stabilize the cello. So if you do this, it's gonna rock back and forth as you play. You want a nice, sturdy, stable thing, okay? So I feel very sturdy right now. Cello's not going anywhere. Now let's talk about plucking. If you're gonna pluck, we're gonna use our right hand over here, thumbs up, thumbs down. We're gonna stick it on the side of our fingerboard about 3-4 inches up. And we're gonna use our pointer finger to do that plucking. Let's go over the names of our strings just to make sure we know them. Starting with the one farthest away from our thumb, which is our highest string. This is A. Let's try that 3 times. Here we go. A, A, A. Good. Let's do the next string. It's our D string. Here we go. D, D, D. Good. The next one is our G. Here we go. G, G, G. And our one closest to our thumb, the lowest string, the big fat one, is the C string. Here we go. C, C, C. So that's the positioning and strings for our plucking. Again, it's A, D, G, C. Now let's talk about the bows and where to position the bow on here. So if I grab my bow, again, my instrument can just kind of stay here. This is like a nice neutral position. And again, using our right hand, the same hand that did the plucking, that's our bow hand. And so what we're going to do is, I like to create, this is the quiet fox that we might have learned in class before, but instead we're going to bring his little lip underneath like this. So he looks like this, okay? And I like to practice biting because that bite is what's gonna bite down on our bow, okay? Again, so I'm right here, and then coming into my bow, my thumb's gonna go underneath that little silver part, my fingers are gonna hang over, and that's gonna give me nice stabilization. Make sure your thumb is nice and curved. You don't want this kind of action, see how because it makes your thumb really tense. You can feel this muscle get really tense. You want it nice and curved like this, nice and squishy. Now, the bow placement is going to be about midway between the bridge and the fingerboard. Okay. Notice, my elbow is like kind of bent. It's not straight out. I'm not going down here, and it's not like up here. Okay. We keep it down here because it makes the best sound, and it also gives you the most amount of room to change strings and not hit other strings. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open my elbow joint. Not this part. I'm just going to open it. Ready? And now I'm going to close it. Again. So I get that big sound. We don't want this or this because it doesn't make a nice sound. We want that nice straight across motion, and that comes from my elbow, not my shoulder. Watch what happens if I try to like use my shoulder to do the work. It's kind of crazy. So if I keep it nice and sturdy and I just open that joint like this, when I want to go to another string, all I do is lift or lower my elbow. So that's it. Okay. And then I open, lower. So that's the basics of how to play the cello. Now let's think about how we want to put it away. I'm going to set my bow on my stand or on a safe place. And we're going to kind of go in reverse. Grab the ribs, grab the neck, gently pick it up, and we're going to swing it to the side. From this position, you can undo the end pin, push it in, lock it back into place, and put your cello away. Okay? Don't forget to loosen your bow. You can give it a couple loosens so that it can relax while it's in the case. That should be everything. Happy practicing.